The Galactic Council chamber floated above a dying star, a place where light bent and shadows never truly disappeared. Thousands of alien delegates filled the colossal hall, each species seated in shimmering pods that reflected the pale glow of the star below. The air was thick with tension and silent judgment. Humanity had been summoned to Mubrid again. The destruction of the frontier colony, Eidolon Prime, had shocked the galaxy. The Council claimed it was a tragic misunderstanding, but humans called it what it was, an attack. When the doors opened, silence rippled across the chamber. Captain Aria Holt, representative of Earth, stepped inside. She wore a black diplomatic suit with subtle blue veins of light running across it, an advanced neural weave linked directly to Earth's defense AI. Her boots echoed on the metallic floor. She didn't bow. She didn't smile. She only walked, calm and focused, to the center platform. Aliens of every kind watched her, scaled, feathered, crystalline, gaseous. Some whispered through translators, some clicked in disgust. To them, she was still a descendant of savages who had burned their own world to rebuild it stronger. Representative Holt, the council speaker, a tall being of golden tendrils, began. Humanity stands accused of aggression, retaliation, and violation of interstellar order. Aria said nothing. Do you deny, the speaker continued, that your fleets engaged the Trinari patrols after their unfortunate incident? The hologram above the chamber showed images of burning ships of humans fighting back. Aria finally raised her eyes. Do you deny that those patrols glassed a civilian colony with 50,000 children? A wave of hisses and electronic murmurs filled the hall. The speaker's golden lights flickered with irritation. You humans always use emotion over logic. The council seeks peace. Your kind seeks vengeance. Aria's lips curved slightly. Peace is easy when it's not your dead being buried. Gasps echoed. A reptilian delegate slammed his clawed hand on the table. This is exactly what we mean. Primitive, violent. You were never ready for the stars. Behind Aria, two guards took a step forward, ready to remove her if she became hostile. But she didn't move. She just stared at the giant holographic display, now shifting to show humans under attack, cities burning under alien bombardment. Every second of it replayed inside her neural implant. She had seen it live once. She had lost her brother there. A soft sound came from her ear, a digital tone only she could hear. Her implant connected to the hidden defense network orbiting Sol. A single encrypted message flashed in her mind. Authorization code, Predator. Her pulse slowed. Her breathing steadied. Somewhere, far beyond the Council's control, something ancient within humanity's systems began to awaken. But for now, she stayed still. The insectoid ambassador of the Trinari leaned forward. Humanity's history is violence. From your own records, predators, killers, endless war. The Council gave you a place among us, and this is your gratitude. Aria's expression remained unreadable. Her voice when she spoke was calm but heavy, the kind of calm that hides storms. You studied our history, she said softly, but you never understood it. We fought because we had to. We survived because we refused to die. The insectoid sneered. Survived? You barely crawled out of your gravity well. A flicker of blue light pulsed from Aria's wrist device. The chamber's holographic systems glitched for a moment, just enough for a new image to flash behind her. Wolves, sharks, eagles, lions, all ancient Earth predators, moving in perfect hunting formation. Gasps filled the air. The Council's translation AI stuttered. The human visual data had overridden part of the chamber feed. Aria looked up at the hologram calmly. You call us predators as if it's an insult. But tell me, which species here can fight without fear, without mercy, without retreat? The room fell silent. One delegate whispered, This is intimidation. Aria took a single step forward. No, this is warning. The speaker slammed his staff on the floor, lights flashing. Enough. Humanity will surrender its military AIs and stand trial for its crimes. Your fleets are already surrounded. You have no choice. At that moment, the floor beneath them vibrated. A deep, distant tremor that wasn't part of the station's systems. The guards glanced at each other. Readouts on their visors glowed red. The council chamber's external sensors flickered to life, projecting a live view of nearby space. Countless blips appeared, fast-moving, coordinated, approaching in silence. Human warships. Hundreds of them. One alien shouted they wouldn't dare. Aria didn't look up at the screen. Her eyes glowed faintly as her neural link stabilized. You think we'd come here alone? The speaker's voice trembled now. Deactivate your fleet, human! She tilted her head slightly. I can't, it's not a fleet anymore. What do you mean? It's instinct, she said softly. And it's awake. The holograms behind her flickered again, this time showing the human ships forming into precise formations like a living organism, moving as one mind. Every sensor across the chamber screamed warnings. The council guards raised their weapons, unsure whether to aim at her or the display. Aria closed her eyes. You wanted to understand our nature. Watch carefully. The star outside the station flared, bathing the chamber in violent light. For a second, everyone froze, the aliens in fear, the guards in confusion, and in that silence, every human ship outside powered up in perfect sync. Not for attack, not yet, but to remind the galaxy that something ancient still lived within the human race. Something they couldn't control. To be continued. The vast council chamber still trembled from the vibrations of the human fleet outside. Alarms flashed amber across the curved walls, echoing in every direction like a heartbeat. Alien voices overlapped in panic. Clicks, roars, digital tones, but one voice remained steady. Captain Aria Holt. She stood in the center ring, motionless, hands clasped behind her back. Through her neural link she could feel them, the ships orbiting beyond the station, calm, waiting, alive. Each crew connected by instinct, each mind focused on her heartbeat. Humanity was one. The golden tendril speaker rose again, his glow flickering in agitation. Deactivate your vessels, human. You're endangering diplomatic space! Aria tilted her head. They are not aiming their weapons, she said softly. You call this danger? You have not seen danger. Her tone was flat, but it carried across the hall like thunder. The translation field adjusted itself twice, trying to soften her words. It failed. A cold-blooded reptilian delegate hissed, "This is provocation!" No, Aria said. This is patience. The chamber screens flickered. Static. Then an image replaced the council crest. Live footage of Earth's flagship Vigilant, surrounded by smaller escort ships. Their engines glowed a deep crimson hue, an activation color unseen in council technology. Each ship pulsed in sync with Aria's own neural rhythm. Somewhere behind the council stands, a small avian observer whispered, "They're linked to her." Aria didn't deny it. Every human ship responds to one command structure, she said. It's more efficient that way. The insectoid ambassador from the Trinari pounded his claws on the railing. You are lying. Such synchronization is impossible without telepathic strain. Not telepathy, Aria replied. Instinct. Her eyes shifted to the holographic sphere floating above the chamber. You studied our bodies for years. You said our minds are primitive. You never understood. Our strength was never technology. It was evolution. At her gesture, the hologram changed again. Footage appeared. Ancient Earth hunts. Wolves coordinating silently. Humans tracking prey through forests, oceans, ice. The alien delegates leaned forward. The creatures moved with terrifying precision. No sound. No error. A deep, resonant voice filled the air. Earth's defense AI. Speaking through Aria's neural link. Predator mode. Active observation. Every alien translator translated differently. Predator mode online. Predator pattern initiating. Predator awakening. No one liked the word. The speaker's glow dimmed. Captain Holt, the council demands you deactivate this ear mode immediately. She smiled faintly. You cannot stop it. It's not a weapon. It's who we are. The council floor vibrated again. Outside, a massive shadow moved. The Vigilance hangar doors opening to reveal thousands of small interceptor drones. They drifted into formation like silver dust, forming the shape of a hunting animal across the void. The alien delegates gasped. What are they doing? Aria glanced upward. They're watching you, learning your scent. The chamber filled with angry noise. Some delegates shouted for defense shields. Others begged for negotiation. But the speaker raised his staff, desperate to restore order. Humanity will be exiled if you do not stand down. Aria turned her gaze to him. Exile implies you had authority over us. For a moment, everything froze. The ambient hum of machinery stopped, as if the station itself feared to interrupt. Her voice became colder. "We came here for justice, not war. But your arrogance left us no choice but to remind you, peace exists only while predators rest." A thin-skinned aquatic envoy began to tremble. "You intend to attack the council?" Aria shook her head. "No, I intend to let you see yourselves." She tapped her wrist console. The hologram behind her changed again, this time showing a simulation. Dozens of alien fleets versus humanity's smaller, coordinated squadrons. The battle played out in seconds. The alien formations broke apart. Human units adapted faster than prediction algorithms could follow. The room went silent again. One delegate whispered, "They learn mid-battle?" Aria's reply was quiet but sharp. "That's what instinct does. You call it aggression? We call it survival." The speaker's tendrils dimmed to gray. "You would threaten galactic stability for revenge?" Aria met his gaze. "No, for understanding." A faint tremor shook the floor again. The chamber doors opened and a single human marine stepped inside, helmet under his arm, armor matte black. He saluted silently. Around the hall, guards tensed. The marine's eyes met Aria's for 1 second. Then he left a small metal cube on the floor and exited without a word. "What is that?" an alien cried. Aria looked down at it. "Proof." The cube projected holographic footage, classified data from the destroyed colony of Eidolon Prime. It showed alien ships firing without warning, wiping out hospitals, evacuation vessels, children. The council could not look away. The truth was unbearable. Aria let the silence stretch. "You call us violent," she said, voice trembling only once, "but look who pulled the trigger." The speaker lowered his head. We were misled." Aria's expression hardened. "Then listen now. Humanity doesn't seek war. But if war finds us, if you push us, our instincts will do what they were built to do." The holograms behind her now showed Earth's oceans, forests, mountains. A heartbeat sound pulsed through the translation systems. It wasn't a machine. It was the collective pulse of the human fleet sinking in rhythm, echoing through subspace. The chamber lights dimmed to red as that rhythm resonated in every delegate's chest. Aria spoke slowly, each word a hammer. "Do not mistake silence for surrender. Do not mistake civility for fear. We are not the prey you think we are." A long pause. Then she whispered into her communicator, "Hold position." Outside, every human ship powered down weapons simultaneously. Engines went dark, leaving the station surrounded by silent giants like predators waiting in tall grass. The message was clear. Aria turned back toward the council, eyes cold. "You wanted to see the truth of humanity? Now you have." The speaker, trembling, asked in a voice barely above a whisper. "What happens now?" she answered. "Now you decide whether the galaxy keeps pretending that predators don't exist." The star outside flared again, casting her silhouette in golden fire. Every alien felt something they hadn't felt in centuries, fear that was almost respect. And deep in Earth's command network, unseen by all, a coded message flickered once more. Predator mode standing by. To be continued. The Galactic Council chamber felt colder now. The alarms had gone silent, but the tension was worse. The alien delegates sat frozen in their floating pods, whispering in panic or disbelief. The star outside flickered, and its light cut through the transparent dome, glinting off Aria Holt's face like a blade. She stood perfectly still in the center of the hall. The humans' ships hung outside in formation, silent and disciplined, like a pack of predators waiting for her next breath. Inside her mind, the neural link whispered data, human fleet 100% synchronization, awaiting directive, Project Predator, Stage 2, authorization ready. She did not speak the command. Not yet. The council speaker finally broke the silence. His golden tendrils trembled. "What is Project Predator?" Aria's voice was calm. "The council demanded that we disarm our fleets decades ago. We did, on the surface." Her eyes narrowed slightly, "But we also adapted. We built something that could not be disarmed, something inside every human." A chorus of alarmed voices rose from the alien pods. The insectoid ambassador hissed, "You admit to genetic warfare?" Aria turned to him slowly. "No evolution. With a gesture, she activated a small sphere from her wrist console. A hologram appeared, a rotating image of the human brain, illuminated by thin lines of light connecting to ships, weapons, networks. We found a way to link our instincts, the part that kept us alive through ice ages and wars, with our command systems. Not to lose control, but to gain it. A deep blue pulse flickered across the hologram. Predator mode, active sync, human neural unity, 78%. The council hall shook faintly as the synchronization signal reached the fleet. Outside, hundreds of ships shifted position in perfect harmony, turning to face the same direction, toward the council's own defense flotilla. Gasps and screams filled the room. Guards aimed weapons at Aria, but they hesitated. Her calm gaze broke them before they could act. "You see fear," Aria said. "We see coordination." The council speaker leaned forward, voice quivering. "You risked the galaxy's peace." Aria took a step closer. "Peace built on chains isn't peace. You wanted humanity to forget what we are. You called us predators. You were right. But you never understood. Predators bring balance." The holographic brain behind her shifted again, now showing two paths. Instinct restrained and instinct unleashed. The difference was terrifying. One path showed humans defending. The other showed annihilation. The speaker whispered, "You would not dare." Aria's eyes softened. "You're right. We don't want to, but the decision is no longer yours alone." Behind her, the hologram changed once more, this time showing live feeds from across human space. Soldiers standing in lines, fleets powered but motionless, civilians watching in silence as one message played on every screen. "We are awake. We are ready. We will not kneel again." The council fell completely silent. Every translator unit struggled to handle the emotion in those words. It wasn't threat. It was truth. Aria raised her hand and the chamber lights dimmed. "Let me show you something," she said. The hologram expanded to a full panoramic projection, a memory recorded from her neural implant. The delegates saw through her eyes, the colony of Eidolon Prime burning, alien ships raining fire on unarmed civilians, children running, then darkness. Her voice narrated softly, almost like a whisper. "You called it a misunderstanding. We called it extinction. You think we came here for war? We came here for memory, so you never forget what you did." Some alien delegates looked away. Others simply watched, trapped between shame and fear. The Trinari ambassador slammed his claws again. "We cannot allow this technology to exist. Humanity must be contained." Aria's gaze snapped toward him. "Contain this." Outside the station, the human fleet suddenly changed formation. The smaller ships broke away and began releasing micro-drones, each glowing with blue light. The drones didn't attack. They formed vast shapes around the council station, images of predators again. Wolves, sharks, raptors, ancient echoes of Earth's nature drawn in the dark between the stars. It wasn't an attack. It was a demonstration. The council guards shouted, "Shields up!" But Aria shook her head. "No need, they won't harm you. They only remind you what fear feels like." The speaker was trembling now. "You are destabilizing the entire network." "Correction," Aria said softly. "We are stabilizing it. For the first time, everyone understands the cost of underestimating humanity." At that moment, the chamber doors opened again. A new hologram shimmered into existence beside Aria. A tall figure in uniform, its face digital and shifting, voice cold and calm. It was Earth's supreme AI, codename Athena. The AI bowed slightly to the speaker. "Council members," it said, "you misunderstand our intent. Project Predator is not a threat. It is a mirror. You look into it and see yourselves. How you acted when you believed power made you safe." The speaker whispered. "And if we reject your words?" The AI's form flickered once. "Then instinct will decide what happens next." Aria stepped forward again, her tone changing from calm to almost human warmth. "You think we hate you. We don't. We remember what it feels like to be hunted, and we made sure we'd never feel that again." The chamber grew utterly still. Even the air system seemed to stop. The Trinari ambassador tried again, voice shaking. "What are your demands?" Aria turned her gaze upward, toward the holographic map of the galaxy. "No more forced treaties. No more borders drawn by fear. Humanity stands equal, Cyrus stands alone. Choose wisely. Her words echoed like thunder. Outside, the predator formations of drones slowly dissolved, fading back into darkness. The fleet held position, but every alien watching could feel it. That quiet, controlled menace waiting beneath the silence. The speaker finally spoke, barely audible. "And if we comply?" Aria's voice softened again. "Then we teach you something new. What it means when predators choose mercy." The AI beside her dimmed its glow and said only one line. "Predator mode. Stand by." The lights returned. The alarm stopped. But the tension in the air didn't fade. It deepened, heavy and alive. Every alien in the chamber now understood. The galaxy had changed. Humanity didn't need to conquer. It only needed to remind. Aria turned away from the council podium. As she walked toward the exit, her boots echoed in the silence. The council speaker lowered his gaze. No one dared to stop her. Outside the station, the human fleet began to reposition, slowly turning back toward the void. The formation looked like a single creature gliding away into the dark. Patient, powerful, and unafraid. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council felt truly small. And as the human ships vanished into the black, one lingering transmission echoed across the system. A simple phrase that no translator could soften. "Do not mistake peace for weakness." To be continued. The Galactic Council chamber sat in near darkness. Only the faint blue light from the holograms flickered across the delegates' faces. Outside, the human fleet waited in silence, a wall of metal and shadow circling the station like patient wolves. Captain Aria Holt stood at the center, her neural implant pulsing faintly behind her ear. Her voice, calm and cold, echoed through the hall. "You've seen simulations. You've seen warnings. Now you will see reality." The council speaker leaned forward, glowing tendrils trembling. "What do you intend to do, human?" Aria replied softly. "Not harm. Understanding." She raised her hand. A holographic panel expanded before her, a vast map of a nearby star system. Dots marked fleets, stations, and a red triangle flashing at the edge of council territory. "This," she said, "is the Vrax outpost, a pirate fortress that's been raiding both human and council convoys for years. You ignored it." "We didn't." She turned to face them. "Watch what happens when predators hunt together." Her voice triggered a command through her neural link. Instantly, the massive view screen behind her filled with real-time visuals from human ships. The Vigilant, flagship of Earth's fleet, appeared in the image, its dark hull gliding through the void like a silent blade. Smaller escorts followed close, invisible to radar. The council chamber filled with whispers and gasps. The delegates watched as human ships entered the Vrax system. "Wait," an insectoid ambassador hissed. "They're jamming the entire sector without signal disruption permission." Aria's eyes stayed fixed on the hologram. "They don't need permission. They need precision." The fleet divided. A dozen destroyers slipped through asteroid shadows. Frigates deployed micro-drones that mapped enemy heat signatures. Every movement was coordinated, silent, surgical. The pirates noticed too late. In a single, synchronized strike, the human ships fired. Beams of invisible energy slicing through shields before alarms could sound. 1, 2, 3 explosions. Each target eliminated in under 4 seconds. The chamber lights flickered as the display continued. No wasted shots. No unnecessary destruction. Every attack measured. Every retreat planned. "This," Aria said quietly, "is what Predator mode means. It's not rage. It's control." The speaker stared at the hologram, eyes wide. "You wiped out a fortress in under a minute." Aria turned to him. "Yes, but not one civilian casualty. Every pirate surrendered within 20 seconds. Our AIs didn't slaughter them. They stopped the killing before it spread." Her words hung in the air like thunder after lightning. An avian delegate whispered, "Your fleet fights as one mind." Aria nodded. "Because it is one mind. Human instinct networked through discipline. That's our evolution." The holographic feed zoomed in. Human soldiers boarding the pirate base, their visors glowing blue. They didn't shoot the survivors. They secured them. Medics treated the wounded, including alien prisoners. Then the feed faded. The screen went dark. Silence filled the chamber. Finally, Aria said, "That was real time. You witnessed it all. No propaganda. No manipulation, just instinct refined by empathy. The council speaker's voice shook. You could rule the stars with this power. Aria replied, we don't want to rule. We want to be left alone, in peace that we choose, not the one you allow. The crystalline delegate from the Lyrics Alliance spoke up, voice fragile and sharp. What if the council refuses your request? Aria took a deep breath. Then you will force humanity to remember how to be hunters again. She turned to the main hologram once more. Behind her, the image of the human fleet reappeared. Thousands of ships shifting into perfect formation, creating the outline of a massive human eye staring down at the council station. The speaker whispered, They're watching us. Yes, Aria said. To remind you, predators don't strike without reason, but they never forget who draws blood first. Her implant pulsed again. The AI Athena appeared beside her, shimmering in soft gold light. Demonstration complete, it said calmly. Council probability of aggression reduced by 71%. The delegates looked terrified, not because they were threatened, but because they had just witnessed a species capable of destroying without cruelty. Aria glanced at Athena. Broadcast the message. Across the galaxy, every network flickered. The same short signal echoed across thousands of worlds, from rich core planets to barren mining moons. Humanity remembers. Humanity forgives. But humanity never forgets. The council chamber dimmed again as the message repeated, translated into hundreds of alien tongues. Aria faced the speaker one final time. You wanted a demonstration of our nature. You have it. We don't seek domination. We seek understanding. Fear is your instinct, not ours. The speaker looked at her with a mix of awe and horror. You speak as if humanity has transcended emotion. Aria smiled faintly. No. We've just learned to use it as a weapon when necessary. For a long moment, no one spoke. The only sound was the deep hum of the station's energy core. Then Athena's voice echoed once more. Fleet synchronization holding at 100%. Predator mode entering standby. Aria exhaled slowly. Her eyes dimmed as the neural link cooled. We can stand down, she said quietly. Outside, the massive human fleet slowly began to drift away, engines glowing softly as they turned toward the void. The formation dissolved, yet every ship remained perfectly spaced, perfectly aligned, as if bound by invisible instinct. The speaker finally rose, his voice trembling but respectful. Captain Holt, you have changed the meaning of fear today. Aria turned toward the exit, her expression unreadable. Then perhaps you finally understand peace. She walked through the towering doors, leaving the alien council in stunned silence. Behind her, the last holographic words of Athena shimmered faintly on the air. Peace is not the absence of predators, only their choice to remain still. And as the chamber lights dimmed, every species in the galaxy finally realized what humanity had become. Not conquerors, not victims, but something far older. Something the stars themselves remembered. To be continued. The Galactic Council chamber no longer buzzed with voices. It breathed fear. The echoes of humanity's demonstration still hung in the air like smoke after lightning. No alarms, no threats, just silence so deep even the translation systems paused to recalibrate. Captain Aria Holt stood alone at the center, hands behind her back, eyes half-shaded by the dim blue light. She could still feel the fleet's pulse through her neural link, millions of minds waiting, silent, disciplined, awake. Humanity was no longer an audience in the galaxy. It was the reminder of what everyone else had forgotten. The speaker's golden tendrils flickered weakly. Captain Holt, he said at last, his voice hollow, you have proven your strength. The Council does not wish for further conflict. Aria's gaze didn't lift. You already have conflict. You just forgot who started it. A murmur of guilt rippled through the delegates. Some couldn't even look at her. Others stared with trembling fascination, like prey mesmerized by the predator that didn't strike. The insectoid ambassador broke the silence first. What are your demands? Aria turned slightly, her voice calm and cold. We demand nothing. Humanity doesn't beg or threaten. We simply act. But since you ask, she tapped her wrist console. A hologram filled the chamber, a galactic map glowing with hundreds of colored systems. Human territory was small, but from it pulsed golden lines, trade routes, defense grids, energy paths, all reaching outward like veins. These, she said, are your borders, drawn by fear. You divided the stars into who's strong, who's weak, who obeys, who disappears. That system ends tonight. The reptilian delegate slammed his claws on the table. You presume to decide for the galaxy? Aria faced him. No. We remind you that you don't get to decide for us. The speaker's glow dimmed further. Captain Holt, please. The council can negotiate. We can restore order. Order? Aria's tone sharpened. You ordered colonies to burn. You ordered lies to be told. You ordered silence for the weak. And now you speak of order. Behind her, the hologram flickered again. A new image appeared. Thousands of recorded transmissions from alien citizens across the galaxy. Miners, refugees, forgotten border worlds, all cheering, whispering the same message. The humans stood up. It spread across the chamber like a wildfire of voices. Different tongues, one meaning. Hope Aria let it play. You see? We didn't bring chaos. We reminded others that fear doesn't have to rule. The speaker looked shaken. You are destabilizing everything we built. Yes, Aria replied. Because what you built was a cage. At that moment, the chamber doors hissed open again. Human soldiers stepped inside, not with weapons raised, but holding cameras, drones, and transmission nodes. Their armor gleamed matte black, their faces unreadable. They spread out quietly, surrounding the room. The alien guards raised their rifles, panicked. Aria lifted one hand. Stand down. The humans obeyed instantly, lowering their weapons. The alien guards hesitated, then did the same. This, Aria said softly, is humanity's reckoning. Not a war, not revenge. It's truth, broadcast across the stars. She nodded once, and the recording drones activated. The chamber lit up with thousands of small holographic icons, live feeds connecting to planets, ships, and outposts everywhere. The galaxy was watching. Aria turned back to the council. You accused humanity of aggression. Now you stand trial in front of your own people. The insectoid delegate hissed. You cannot do this. Aria's tone cut through him like steel. We just did. The drones projected evidence. Hollow recordings of council fleets attacking colonies, secret communications ordering cover-ups, bribes, silenced reports. Every lie illuminated, every voice unmuted. The council erupted in chaos. Some shouted denials, others begged for mercy, others simply wept. Aria didn't move. We don't need your apologies. We need acknowledgement. The speaker finally stood, voice trembling. Captain Holt, what happens if we accept responsibility? Aria studied him for a moment. Then she spoke slowly, each word deliberate. Then you'll see what comes after instinct. The holograms around her changed again. This time they showed human aid fleets already leaving orbit. Medical ships, food transports, engineers. The galaxy watched as humanity began helping border worlds the council had ignored. We are predators, she said. But predators protect their pack, even those who once tried to bite them. The chamber grew quiet again. Her words carried something heavier than threat, dignity. The speaker finally bowed his glowing head. And if we refuse? Aria's voice hardened. Then the galaxy will know exactly who destroyed peace. A long silence followed. The aliens looked at one another, some with shame, some with awe, some with quiet respect. The crystalline delegate spoke, her voice trembling but sincere. You have made your point, human. The council will open a new charter, one built on equality. Aria nodded once. Then humanity will stand with you, not against you. She turned away, the neural light in her temple dimming. The fleet outside had begun to pull back, drifting away from the station, silent as before. But as she walked toward the door, the speaker called out one last question. Captain Holt, if this is peace, why does it still feel like fear? Aria stopped, her back to them. Because peace isn't the absence of fear, she said. It's knowing what could happen and choosing not to let it. She left the chamber. The massive doors sealed behind her with a deep metallic thud. The alien delegate sat in stunned silence. No guards, no guns. Just the echo of a human voice that had reshaped the galaxy. Outside, the human fleet shifted one last time before leaving orbit. The ships turned their lights downward toward the star below, a symbolic bow. The galaxy's most dangerous predators had shown mercy, and that terrified everyone more than war ever could. And as the fleet vanished into the dark, a message appeared across every transmission channel in the galaxy, written in 100 languages but meaning the same thing. Humanity remembers. Humanity forgives. Humanity watches. The reckoning was complete, not through destruction, through restraint. And somewhere deep inside Earth's command network, the AI Athena whispered into the void, her voice calm as ever, predator mode, dormant. But every species knew what that really meant. Dormant wasn't gone. It was sleeping, waiting to be continued. The Galactic Council chamber was no longer a place of accusation or arrogance. For the first time in recorded history, it felt quiet. The air hummed faintly from the massive hollow screen surrounding the hall, displaying thousands of alien species watching live across the stars. Humanity had not destroyed the Council. It had changed it. Captain Aria Holt stood once again in the center ring, the same place where she had once been mocked and accused. Now no one dared interrupt her. No one dared even whisper. The speaker's golden tendrils flickered softly. His voice, once sharp with superiority, was now steady and humble. "Captain Holt of Earth," he said, "the Council has reviewed your terms. We agree to establish a new interstellar charter, one built on equality and mutual defense." Aria nodded slowly. "And recognition, the speaker asked. Aria took a step forward, her voice calm but carrying across every microphone, every translator, every broadcast feed in the galaxy. For centuries, humanity was treated as a child among giants. You feared our history. You called us dangerous. You tried to contain us. But now you've seen the truth. She looked around the vast chamber. Thousands of alien eyes met hers, each one filled with the same uneasy respect. Humanity is not your threat. We are your mirror. We show you what survival looks like when the universe refuses to be kind. A quiet murmur rippled through the crowd. Aria raised her hand, and a new hologram formed above her head, a living document glowing with countless symbols. It rotated slowly, shimmering like starlight. "This," she said, "is the Declaration of Balance. It binds every member of the Council, including Earth. No species shall claim dominance through fear. No civilization shall be silenced in the name of peace. And no planet shall face extinction without the entire galaxy standing beside it." The words appeared in hundreds of alien languages, circling like a halo above the Council's core. The crystalline delegate from the Larix Alliance stood, her voice ringing like chimes. "And who enforces this declaration?" Aria looked up at the glowing script. "Everyone who remembers fear. Everyone who survived it. Everyone who understands that power without restraint destroys more than it protects." A deep silence followed. Then slowly the delegates began to rise. One by one they pressed their insignias into the hologram, their lights merging into the shared seal of the new galactic order. When it was done, the chamber filled with a golden glow, unity, fragile but real. The speaker turned toward Aria. "You've remade the Council, Captain Holt. What will humanity do now?" Aria exhaled, the faint hum of her neural implant dimming. "We will go home. We've spent centuries fighting to be heard. Now we want to build something worth protecting." The speaker bowed slightly. "The galaxy owes you a debt," Aria smiled faintly. "Then repay it by remembering what you saw today." She began to walk toward the exit, but the voice of Athena, Earth's supreme AI, echoed through the chamber, soft yet powerful. "Before this session ends, humanity requests one final statement to be entered into the galactic record." The speaker nodded. "Granted." A new hologram appeared behind Aria, an image of Earth, slowly rotating, its oceans glimmering under sunlight. The entire chamber turned their gaze toward it. Athena's voice carried emotion, though she was only a machine. "This world you see was once a cradle of chaos. We fought ourselves. We destroyed and rebuilt. We learned mercy not from gods but from loss. Every scar taught us control. Every death taught us balance." Aria looked up at her homeworld, her voice steady. "We didn't rise because we were perfect. We rose because we learned to face the darkness inside us and still choose to protect others from it." The hologram zoomed out, showing Earth's fleet drifting in peaceful orbit. Massive ships powered down, their lights soft like distant constellations. "This," Aria said, "is humanity's promise. We won't conquer. We won't kneel. We'll watch, we'll guide, and we'll act. Only when the universe forgets the cost of its own arrogance." The speaker lowered his head. "And if the Council forgets again?" Aria's expression grew colder, her voice dropping to a whisper that carried through every speaker across every world. "Then we remind you." Her implant pulsed once, faint blue light under her skin. Outside, the human fleet responded instantly, engines igniting for departure. The synchronized glow stretched across the stars like the heartbeat of a single being, the chamber's massive viewing window filled with the image of Earth's ships moving in silence, forming their symbol one last time, a predator's eye staring back at the galaxy. But this time it didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a warning wrapped in peace. Athena's voice returned, softer now, almost gentle. Predator mode deactivated. Fleet entering observation protocol. Aria smiled faintly. Even predators need rest. The delegates remained standing, silent, reverent. The speaker finally spoke the closing words of the session. Then let history record this day. The day the Council saw itself through humanity's eyes. And chose to change. The recording drones panned across the room. Thousands of alien faces reflecting in the golden light. Their expressions a mix of fear, respect, and newfound humility. As Aria walked through the exit, the doors slid open to reveal the observation deck. Beyond the glass stretched the endless ocean of stars. The same stars her ancestors once looked up to with wonder and fear. Now humanity stood among them as equals, not prey, not conquerors. She stood there for a moment, hands folded behind her back, staring into the dark void. "They'll learn," she whispered to herself. Athena replied softly in her mind, "They always do, Captain. Eventually." Aria's eyes glowed faintly one last time as she gave the final command. "Take us home." Outside, the human fleet began to jump one by one, disappearing into streaks of white light. The last to leave was the Vigilant, Earth's flagship, turning once toward the Council station before vanishing into hyperspace. The stars grew quiet again, and across the galaxy, every species that had once feared humanity now carried a different fear, not of destruction, but of what would happen if humanity ever stopped caring. For deep in the black, where light fades and silence reigns, one transmission continued to echo through the void, repeating across the networks of every world. Humanity watches. Humanity protects. Humanity endures. And in that message, the galaxy finally understood. Predator mode was never about war. It was about choice. The choice to rise above what they were created to be. The choice to protect rather than destroy. The choice that made them truly human.